the first to know. Nsem-Pii TV.
Rev Ntim Fodjour, Member of Parliament for Asin South and a Deputy Ranking Member for Defense in Parliament of Ghana. I say President Mahama, Honorable Samukute Blackwa, and Sam George, Omode Ghana, Bekwa Shebibia Yempe, just ended United Nations resolutions on LGBTQ. We share resolutions now. But one more promote LGBTQ vying against any form of discrimination and violence. Now countries be 15 and they vote no. Sir, omonye so promoters of LGBTQ. Asem countries ni bini Algeria, Burundi, Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, Democratic Republic of Congo, Ethiopia, Gambia, Malawi, Morocco, Sudan, Maldives, Bangladesh, China, Indonesia, Kuwait, and Qatar. Some countries we in himself. Enya de omode LGBTQ eya yonkofa. So person yi Bangladesh, Indonesia, Kuwait kura free mo. Untimi nyi Ivory Coast free. Untimi enyi country biti say Gambia in free. Untimi nyi country biti say Democratic Republic of Congo in free. Nanso Ghana nkoko twa abade ya. Sam George dede omoye na Omakwa to abstain. Ye in the LGBTQ promoters by you, the omunye, ye dear, for ye niase, ye niase biaka fa President Mahama, and ye winner of promise Ghana for according to Asin South Member of Parliament. Or say, during the time as Sam George, say President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo signing private members bill on LGBTQ. Now President Mahama so no president na coordinator besha say ene the order no ho akodam kro bi ti say South Africa omoye den so LGBTQ so emma ho kwan emma gay for krati mi ba Independence Square be fifi o ma no nina no na onye den omo ota any statement from the Jubilee House ene akọ another level at to the United Nations. Enko tie Rev Ntim Fodjour Nsem odi chudra oni obedi nkomo ewe ekosi sen dwumade no so.
The United Nations in diplomacy, there's a lot of coding. Now, independent experts on the rights of LGBT.
Honorable, Ahomani Munye, minim se wujina fakwa na wo drive there. It's
member countries. Now, in the promotion of LGBT. But the also said LGBT community, among for 80 to almost years on, they should go there, embolden them, encourage them, incentivize them, like we know in the normal issues around LGBT, to promote it and to back them. And the normal mechanism that we will use. And that we may acquire ever more to our passage. We renew and also here renew. So at the part, China and India. So at the part, and Ethiopia and Tunisia. At the park, Ivory Coast, your neighbors, Tunisia, Gambia and Tunisia. And all the 16 countries are, countries are, almost stance of LGBT. They make Ghana the countries are the decision, about South Africa. Because South Africa, the same South Africa, under the fog of national security. The embassy one of the security national monument. The men are watching back home here, the security FM. Just barely a week after, not a campaign was supposed to every year campaign promote LGBT. Now UNL taking the system. Human Rights Council. So they extended the independent expert mandate or not. Not for Ghana. For the first time for cancer, where the empire stand you, somewhere stand you, Ghana did, about the LGBT from someone, and fire one. When you abstain in any UN voting, implication is that all parties are one and found, and now, yeah, who interest, and now, but when it comes to Ghana, Ghana is not a country, they are indifferent on LGBT rights issues. We have a position. Your position is very clear. The constitution, your position is very clear. Over 275 members of parliament are. You see, your position is very clear. In the 93% of the population, CBD Afro-Barometer survey in 2021 can say LGBT Chiwabi. I want Mampeni Nankasawe campaign, Utu and Utu said, why would you say Ghana had it? LGBT Chiwabi. And this, if you are confronted with any decision like that in any form, particularly sensitive around promotion of LGBT rights in countries, let's say, who abstain implication you know. But I say, who's say, when they LGBT form, I want to come with you. And you know, who's say, who you and him knock or to a band tia one. It was also be on the
the according to the Foreign Affairs Ministry, the question omuvoti on whether persons who identify as LGBTQI should be protected against violence and discrimination or not. That was the question. On such a question, no. Now, expectation is a buying vote yes or no?
No, that is not the Minister of Foreign Affairs. And the Minister for Foreign Affairs should be resigning because he has gone against the position of the state. Now, in China, on the streets, LGBT for street Swana. Ivory Coast, LGBT for street Swana. Gambia. The Kuku LGBT for a good street Swana. In Ethiopia, the Kuku LGBT for good street Swana. So please, Sabi, let me hear with this. Ghana, let me hear with you. When you control, you have gone to goof. You have gone to misrepresent the stance and the interests of the country. You have two out in Abaswa. What the Bofakers here? Why they need the voting? The voting implications at the United Nations. Some of us, when it comes to voting at the United Nations, a whole PhD research was dedicated to that.
Okay. So are you saying, sir, the question now, ministry, they say, and no, member state a voting on, no? What's this question in Yanokre? This was not a question.
The voting was renewing the mandate of independent experts.
Yes.
On the promotion of the rights of LGBT activists and practitioners. Renewing the mandate. What mandate? What mandate was it? It's a grand agenda that goes to promote LGBT activities within the member countries. You see, so there will be any other, so the ones who need LGBT activism, a push and pull matter. It's a matter of activism. It's a matter of lobby. It's a matter of financial incentivization. It's a matter of diplomatic, inducement. And you know with the economic factors now. So there are, and to the Kaya during our time, even Bra, and just for the record, and to dispel what you for some ignorance, Bra, me Parliament 2017, and I'm starting making out the first member of Parliament to cook hands at moi to have made a statement on LGBT on the floor under Speaker Okwe, August 2017. And I made it, and I've been consistent and been pushing it. And on record, when you passed the bill, I was the first to speak, urging President Akufo-Addo to sign the bill. Into this panel, the ready to transfer on kindness on the internet. People easily go there and pull records to dispel and torture. Only research answer about the transfer. And under the other time, every time the answer independent expert one grand agenda. They use diplomatic outlets. They push LGBT. They do underground meetings. They use diplomatic outlets to meet the LGBT community. In that case, resources to get here and national security. No matter close to them. Who close to the one you should have for? Yes, I close to them. We are the back of the media. I did that when my government was in power because there was zero tolerance for the Jesus, other underground were there, a best show among crime because LGBT and we are saying from Sodom and Gomorrah. But the end say yet to the 1 year crowd. What is it? And to say, oh, about the Maho Pine. Not the other Rubono, Aquanim, not under presidency, no. And mine takes South Africa, Abba, about the better rule, under the guise of independent expert promotion whatsoever. I a campaign about their campaign ahead of such a sensitive vote. Maybe now could now and rather shamefully, we need to be a bit about the simple car buying car. The apologies never Ghana said this one was a select, but we promised Ghana said subsequent votes, we will take it in line with your stance.
Okay, and I get you, but if say was say a buying ebe Ghana for Chelsea, we a slipper. Sleep no any day because I know say in Mobile now what they call parliament no you were at pains to explain to the Ghanaian people say the bill no is not to preach hate against Sanko for no now there is no way in the bill like say obi sadie ni bia e was say no ebono any ade enti really the question that was up for voting no in line with Nioma Muamu Pushi in Momobile.
And you're no clear because I mean, Mama Claire said 15 countries are voting no. There is not a single country the voting no Ukumu and na. They didn't put back at the bro LGBTQ at the answer to go almost at the time show Mokon SUM, Equa Fifi, and wine LGBT, Momai Kukumu. It never happens anywhere. All the 15 countries. Ethiopia, what could Ethiopia pay? This are Kosovo. Ivory Coast, what to be this hour? Gambia, what to be this hour open? So please, they should give us a break.
Now, Sanka Banka say, Yemfuaso say Yebema panel of expert, no extension be a Sana Woka.
Any matter, see, in foreign policy, no, your position, your foreign policy position is consistent. For instance, a black Ghana a tricky decision said Israel and Palestine we want to Pano. When take 2 state solution now near the Anti-LGBTQ consistent with non-aligned position. But what this hard decision is the with Anti-LGBTQ. So I say it what in any aspect be a vote about even when President Trump could declare Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, our position was consistent. Israel and Palestine. Anytime any such vote is called, whichever way, once that matter comes in Israel Palestine, the position is consistent. And in the same way, if our position as a country is LGBT and some and yes, and this also LGBT and some and no constitution they are quite new expect to be man with her. And also for home, don't you go and state your position against it. What before our president now say, after we can trust the president, or the bill ever parliament. If so, what the bill ever parliament? Say, Galamsey, media, and Chenua. Now, international funds, now you to Abase, they will expect to be a woman, ever better Galamsey for. Won't you vote in favor of that? So they should give us a break. So they will be in South Ghana. And they have disappointed Ghanaians. And they should not use any bluffo to cover Ghana. Will be at the bluffo. Will be at the bluffo. For radio, so they kept here. I know it's just one more. No foreign affairs minister, and now the government spokesperson, and I got a bluffo. They should respect the intelligence of Ghanaians.
Okay.
To settle,
I think we means Honorable Nyabotre Mensaka a document on the motion that was before the council for them to vote on it. I think I don't know ever settle BBM if the ministry and canokre and as a month for it. We United Nations General Assembly. It's dated 30th June 2025. Human Rights Council almost 59th session from 16th June to 9th July 2025. Agenda item 3. Agenda item 3 near promotion and protection of all human rights, civil, political, economic, social, and cultural rights, including the rights to development. Now, countries are now voting on this. On the resolution, okay, the countries are voting on the resolution. In the almost 59 mandate of independent expert on protection against violence and discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity. The Human Rights Council reaffirming the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, recalling General Assembly Resolution 60/251 of 15th March 2006, in which the Assembly stated that the Human Rights Council should be responsible for promoting universal respect for the protection of all human rights and fundamental freedoms for all without distinction of any kind and in a fair and equal manner. Recalling also Human Rights Council resolutions 1719 of 7 June 2011, 2732 of September 2014, 32.2 of 30th June 2016, 14.8 of 12 July 2019, and a 15.10 of 7 July 2022. Recalling further Human Rights Council resolutions 5.1 and 5.2 of 18 June 2007. 1. Welcomes the work undertaken by the independent expert on protection against violence and discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity in the implementation of the mandate, the comprehensive, transparent, and inclusive consultations conducted with relevant stakeholders, the thematic report, and the undertaking of country visits to different regions. 2. Decides to extend the mandate of the independent expert on protection against violence and discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity for a period of 3 years to enable the mandate holder to continue to work in accordance with the mandate established by the Human Rights Council in its resolution 32.2. 3. Request the Secretary General and the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights to continue to provide the independent expert with all the human, technical, and financial resources necessary for the continuation of the effective fulfillment of the mandate. 4. Calls upon all governments to cooperate with and assist the independent expert by supplying all necessary information requested by the mandate holder and responding favorably to the request of the independent expert to visit their countries to fulfill the mandate more effectively. And 5, request the independent expert to continue to report annually on the implementation of the mandate of the Human Rights Council and the General Assembly in accordance with their respective programs of work. In the resolution, countries voted yes to the motion. Albania, Andorra, Australia, Austria, Belgium, Brazil, Bulgaria, Canada, Chile, Colombia, Costa Rica, Croatia, Cyprus, Czech, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Iceland, Ireland, Italy, Latvia, Liechtenstein, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, Mexico, Montenegro, Netherlands, Norway, Poland, Portugal, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, Ukraine, UK, and Uruguay. I'm going to vote yes to this draft resolution.
And South Africa. South Africa also voted yes.
Okay, South Africa also voted yes, right? Okay, do Omono Edi country list now?
South Africa also. Okay. Voting.
Okay.
That's for the mama.
This is the resolution after council meeting, the
one of the last 2 paragraphs to mandate countries to cooperate with the independent experts in their country visits and to we cooperate with them, assist them with information, financial resources, and it did be a one day here in their mandate. Now there's which is the mandate, and they are to visit various countries in various regions to exercise their mandate. And you ask yourself, mandate bank, it is the promotion of LGBT rights. And China say, yeah,
no, I must say mandatory protection against violence and discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity.
And America said, China, Togo, China, Ivory Coast, Ethiopia, and all the 15 all the 15 countries that vote no say, yeah, they have no, so the informed putting down some of the they were quite a fast one. A man, a cannon says, Nsem-Pii. If you're who, see about the mamma say, no money, a major corporation, you have made a campaign, and made the underground meetings, and far resources, and messages, such groups, and your recruitment, and more than yeah, my but there's some what to say because a man for a few years as they say LGBT what human rights violation and the cost of agriculture and any sense of move to yes or any sense of more Serbia or more absent Serbia President Mahama or the name man forcing the Prime Minister of Agriculture Serbia President Mahama or the name man forcing the President of Prime Minister of Ethiopia Gambia. Why China? Why they don't mind seeing the premier of China? Okay. So Okwakoto vote to be alone. Okwako mean said, "Momani kum na mometun said LGBT force kum." No, that is not the meaning. But what it means is that any form of international pressure and financial mechanism or promote to LGBT or the crew those countries were bold said. Your man forms the next your mama pine. Okay. No interested. China on various streets, no.
That's right. The meaning is for us as a country, the way forward now is to pass the bill into an act. Now, on my opinion, in Sabashas and Ababa Yemra, Sisi, I must reintroduce a private members bill. Minister of Government Communications, Simua, a buying air prepare or Modia Diaba. Now, and on a bar, a bewo. That agency and BBR a bit me go through. Not just say, Momo the other day, and her back up a yadriao.
Oh, Obi, I can assure you, sir, that I'm buying it or no about the 2 year DNA. One man we will prove to him, sir, Parliament is independent of the executive. In any case, a brand up President Mahama, a candidate, and one we are on the days LGBT do the command now, or did to support yes, and the private members bill, or can we in the shape and form it is no, the president, or best find a bill, or best find a ballot. And yes, after the year, and this before many years and a campaign, or last rally, did you remember a campaign said, President Mahama about best signing that private members bill into law now. And then after sign, or by the all of a sudden was it. Private members bill and is sufficient to cure the problem. As I say, yes, curriculum and cook here. The pressure corners on so one casa de ba. Like a wood de ba, and 7 months in Camp Mile. In any case, also the bar fine. It shows that you agree with the principle. In that case, bill not or what which is the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill, they are kickstarting. You allow the hands of the Speaker and the hands of the Parliament to pass it. That pass here, once a woman will be a year more encompassing. Let's have a Mukina. We are lawyer. You must say every law that you never say existing one movie canal. Even what we are doing, there is a 1960 Criminal and Other Offences Act Mukina to augment it from the unnatural canal knowledge. That's what I said. Okay. And also, we society law. Not all additional dimensions here. Whether in brackets here, you can so do it, but you